Hello everybody and welcome back. It is Jeff again, coming to you from the Minecraft vanilla server. And what we're going to do today is continue the terraforming process because I'm getting sick of looking at this landscape. So this is going to take a while. It probably is not going to be like something I will do every single episode for the next couple episodes because that would just get boring. But I wanted to switch things up a little bit and go back and start this process outright. What is that? Oh, it's just a pathway to the castle. And we're also going to try something. I find it hilarious how mad some people get at my lack of skills and ability to be able to do the proper trick in order to get the snow. It does. It makes me chuckle. I know the best way to do it is to do it like this. And then, like, move like this. And then do this for a while. It's really slow. Why are you so slowly breaking the snow? That's really weird. Either way, yes, I've got like a slot filled up now. And we will see how this ends up going. But this has been long overdue in order to actually get some of this terraforming done. So a lot of people are getting upset with the creeper holes, myself included, because the creeper holes are getting annoying. The problem is, the more and more I run back and forth, the more and more creeper holes that exist. And I mean, it's like this, it's a cyclical argument on, you could say, on fix the creeper holes, don't fix the creeper holes. Either way, we're going to work on it a little bit today while talking about whatever we feel like talking about. So one thing I want to bring up is I want to know what some of your guys' like secret, not desires, but secret loves in life are. Now, I've talked before about things like, you know, I'm a, closet musical fan that, liking Rent and things like that. Yeah, see, this is much easier, except now I got to do this. That was weird. I don't know what just happened there. What the heck? Oh, I get it. I gotta go like this. Okay. See, it's still not perfect, but it works. It's a little bit easier to do it like this. I guess it eliminates some viewer frustration, like I said, which I find the viewer frustration hilarious. But if I'm not standing in just the right spot, it doesn't work too well either. So it's still not a perfect system to do things like this. I guess I'd have to get like stand up here or something. I don't even know. Hello. Oh, I was hitting completely the wrong button there. I mean, this isn't going to be, I don't know. This isn't something I definitely should be doing off camera, but I always run out of time and don't end up doing it off camera like I should. And, what are you going to do? So we're going to get this couple stacks of snow, and then we're going to go outside into the real world. Whatever. Close enough. Now let's get all these stacked back together. I have 3 stacks of snow to play with. Some dirt, which I will need. I, for some reason, have my prismarine on me. I don't really know why. But first off, we're going to go to sleep. But I want to know some of your guys' secret hidden desires and hidden, like, loves in life. So what I mean by that is last night I was at work and I got extremely, like, blown away by something one of my patients said. One of my patients was a confused at baseline. You son of a... You know I'm coming to destroy your creeper holes, don't you? He was a confused at baseline 70-year-old dude. Been around the block for a while. He's 70. He knows what he wants out of life, but he's just currently confused. So he doesn't exactly know where he's at or exactly what's going on with life. That, one of the reasons he's in the hospital, but, that's fine. He was a fun guy to talk to, pleasant, so couldn't really ask for, well, pleasant most of the time, not all the time. I got a little agitated a few times, but, you couldn't really ask for, a more fun patient to interact with throughout the night, because he very much was one of those people who will tell, yeah, you know, I probably got snow stuffed in these things. Very much one of those people who would tell you what he wants, what he doesn't want, what you're doing wrong, what he thinks you should be doing better, and why he thinks he should get like everything his way. One of those people, which, like I said, those people definitely can be a lot of fun. They can be very, very, very difficult to work with as well, but just make the most of, you know, what you can. So last night, for the first couple hours, this is the second night I had him in a row. For the first couple hours, he was so demanding. He just wanted food, but he wasn't allowed to eat. He wanted to explain to me why he should be able to eat. How he's a 70-year-old man and he's earned what he can in life. It doesn't matter that he's in the hospital and it's, it's could kill him by eating, things like that. One of those things, why everything that he knows is better and why what I'm doing to him is wrong and why I'm such a jerk and blah, blah, blah. Either way, he'd settled down from that after a little while, and then he wanted to watch TV. Hey, turn on the TV. Turn on the TV. I'm like, sir, you have that remote in your hand. We've already gone over this. Well, no, work this thing. Because he really just kept forgetting that we had this conversation. Because, I mean, that's how he is at baseline. A lot of people with dementia and things like that, I can't say they choose to, they don't choose to forget, obviously, but they choose to try to mask. People get upset that they don't remember things, so try to mask the fact that they don't remember with an excuse. Like, it's like in the movie Memento. And he said he would, he didn't believe Sammy Jankis in that whole story with Sammy Jankis. He didn't believe him because of the fact that Sammy Jankis looked at him every time he went over to the house with this look of knowing who he was, so therefore he knew he was faking. And if you don't know the movie, the whole movie's about the fact that this guy has short-term memory loss and doesn't know anybody, like from some accident he had, and he was an insurance claim. Well, sort of we can go with this. If you've seen the movie, you understand, but he was some insurance claim investigator who was to determine if they were faking this thing or not, and he thought he was faking this stuff because of the fact that he looked at him every time he came over to the house with this look of knowing and understanding who he was. Whereas when the same thing happened to Val Kilmer, it was Val Kilmer in that movie. No, it wasn't Val Kilmer. Who the hell was it in that movie? I don't remember. But either way, when the same thing happened to him, he somehow was able to remember the whole Sammy Jankis story. Excuse me. But he also said he would go through life with trying to look at these people like he knew who they were so that he fit in better with society, essentially, because otherwise he was just this crazy man who had no idea what was going on and didn't remember people from like 2 minutes, 1 minute to the next. And the movie itself is freaking amazing. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a movie that takes place, it goes backwards. It actually starts at the end of the movie. Well, I guess it starts at the beginning because you can't really start at the end of a movie, but it starts in time sequence at the end of where the movie would really start taking place at, and it works back to the beginning. And very, very, very well done. Very interesting, very intriguing. I really liked it. However, the point of saying that was the fact that, people who have memory loss or whatever often will make excuses that it's really not their memory loss that's causing the problems. It's you. You did something stupid. Like, you did something wrong. I mean, I think it's a natural reaction. People don't ever want to be wrong. And people don't ever want to admit that they forget things either, because, that's embarrassing. And so that's where it really comes down to. But either way, so we're going off on that whole thing, and I'm like, okay, sir, yep, it's my fault. The TV doesn't work. Yeah, you don't know how to use it. I didn't teach you, right? I get it. So either way, I'm like, okay. He starts complaining about what's on TV. He's like, I've seen this show like 8 times now. I don't want to watch this show again. And I was like, okay, I'll change it for you. And he's like, well, no, I want to see the ending. It was kind of, funny the way he said it. Like, I don't want to see this. I've seen it too much, but no, don't change it. I want to see the ending. So he hasn't seen it enough. And he knew, and it was on the day before. So I can tell you that same episode of something he was watching. I think it was a movie, but it was on the day before. So he was right on, half the fronts, and sometimes he was in complete lucidity where he would completely be alert and oriented and know what was going on. I mean, that's just how this guy is at baseline. So this movie finishes, and I start flipping through the channels, and I was like, what do you want to watch? And he's like, oh, no, let's find something good. So I start flipping through the channels, and he stops me at an ad for WWE wrestling. And he goes, oh, when's the wrestling match on? And I like stopped at it and I looked at the TV for a second and I was like, actually, it looks like it's about to start right now. And he goes, oh, heck yeah, keep the wrestling on, I gotta see this. And he started just listing off all these WWE people that he follows and the ones he's followed since he was a kid and how he just can't get, like, enough of this show. So he literally sat there and watched the WWE at his, and you know, the WWE matches when they're on and things like that, they're not quick matches. It was like 3.5 or 4 hours of him literally sitting in his room. And every time I would go in there to do something, he'd be like, when did this guy come back to wrestling? I remember his match against, and he would like just stay. I don't know if he was accurate or not, because I don't watch WWE, or if he was just thinking those people were different people or not. But I was so baffled, and I was like, I went up to one of my friends, and I'm like, dude, that old guy that's been yelling at us all night, I'm like, that 70-year-old man, his one thing that he wants to do is sit there and watch WWE wrestling. And she's like, what? And she went in there, and like, he was into it. He was loving life because he got to sit there and watch like wrestling. He was stuck in the hospital, so he got to watch wrestling. I didn't know, for one, that people actually still watch that stuff. Granted, to say still watch the stuff, I didn't know that in the 70s either that the WWE would have been something that was really big. For some reason, I didn't think WWE really took over until probably like the generation before mine. So I would guess people right now in their 40s to 50s would be the people that I would completely see as, you know, the wrestling type. That's where I would go with it. He seems a little bit too old to be into the wrestling, but I guess nobody's ever too old to be into anything. But that was just like, wow, this guy, the thing that's just going to make him happy and make everything like all right is the fact that he gets to sit there and watch wrestling right now, like, which is just crazy and amazing to me. For one, it gave him something to do, so he wasn't yelling at me anymore, which is funny as that is to say. I mean, like I said, he was fun. You deal with people yelling at you all the time in my profession, so it's not something I was getting mad at, but it does weigh on you after a while. You're just like, oh, stop yelling at me, like there's nothing I can do about this. You know, you have to understand that by now, sir, right? But I'm trying to build this up to look like there's a part of the ski hill with just some like divots and some ruts, because everything can't be like a perfect mountain over here on its way down. Yeah, so that's looking okay. I definitely need to get this covered up over here. But so then in the morning, not only throughout the night, back and forth on, hey, he kept hitting his call bell, tell me to turn my TV on. He would get up and turn his TV on, start watching something, then he'd get mad and not know how to turn it off anymore and call me in there to go turn it off. So at like 4 o'clock in the morning, he hits his call bell and calls me in there, because again, he doesn't know. Nobody taught him how to use the remote. He doesn't know how to change the channels, whatever. So I'm like, okay, let me find something. If you woke up again, because he had been sleeping for a while, and then he woke up and wanted to watch TV. He didn't know what time it was. He didn't care what time it was. He's in a hospital. Like, doesn't matter to him what time it is. If he's up, he's up. Like, people are there. People are around. We don't give them clocks. I mean, we do. There's clocks in his room, but he probably couldn't, see said clock at the time. Either way. So I start flipping through the channels, and I'm like, he's like, I'll tell you when to stop when we find something good. Ooh, I did not know that was open. I probably did, but I completely forgot that was open, so it is now closed. So I'm flipping through the channels, and I don't know what we flipped to. It was like some news channel, and he's like, I don't want to watch the news. And then we flipped to something else, and he's like, I don't want to watch this. I literally flipped to the Disney Channel, and it was one of those Disney shows where those... How did I miss my... There it is. It was one of those Disney shows. I don't know what it was, but it was similar to Hannah Montana or whatnot. Something in that, like... in that demographic. See, this is how snow is supposed to go. This is way faster. And I was waiting for... I, like, flipped past it as quick as I could because I thought he was going to make some, like, nasty derogatory comment about the fact that, it's the Disney Channel. How does this man want to watch the Disney Channel? And he goes, no, go back. I was like, okay. So I went back and I was like, do you want to watch this? And he's like, yeah, I'll watch this. I'm like, this is the Disney Channel, right? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. I'm literally, it's like Saved by the Bell with even younger people type of thing. It's like all the people on the screen were, 12 years old, and they were making some of the dumbest jokes I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, isn't that what most Disney Channel shows are? I'm not saying that means they're bad, but it was not what I expected. This 70-year-old man, he wants to watch either WWE wrestling. He probably didn't realize it was WWE, by the way. I wonder if he still thought it was WWF. I should have asked him that. That would have been interesting to know the insight into that part of his mind. But yeah, WWE wrestling or random kids shows on the Disney Channel were what made this man happy and able to sit at the hospital and be less of a, I can't say a pain, because he really wasn't that much of a pain. He was, like I said, kind of a complainer, but no big deal. And yeah, so I'm curious to know, what are some of your this is something I would not have expected. I was not expecting this guy to be so intrigued by all this stuff, but I want to know what some of your guys' hidden vices are. I can't say vice. I don't want to say vice because that gives it a negative, connotation. Obviously, that gives it a negative connotation. That's the whole point of saying a vice, is something that you don't want to have. So it's just your hidden pleasure, I guess, because I'm curious what other stuff that's out there that people just love on a regular basis that I don't even think about. There's probably a lot of things that exist in the world that I don't even realize people watch. There's so many different shows. Like, one of the shows that came out that I guess I felt embarrassed. I didn't really feel embarrassed, but I was just like, man, I'm such an idiot for liking this show. But when Big Bang Theory came out, I was like, oh my god, I'm such a nerd because I like this show. I think it's really funny. I am a nerd. I like the stupid humor that these guys are going with. It's the quintessential smart guy in love with the hot neighbor next door type of deal. And they become friends and blah blah blah. You had an Indian guy who won't even speak to women, at the beginning of it. He can't even speak to women. I was just like, oh god, this show is so dumb probably to most people's standards, and I think it's hilarious and I love it. Yet it turns out that show is one of the most popular sitcoms. I've never met a person that dislikes Big Bang Theory, and it's just continuing on season after season because people think it's such a great show, and it truly is. And so you never know what shows are going to hit it big and what ones are going to be look at this dumbass for enjoying this series right here. But yeah, I don't know. So I'd be curious to hear what the ones are that you guys really like to watch, and maybe are even embarrassed yourself to admit that you like, but now you feel safe that you're able to get out there and tell the world how you truly feel about things like, WWE and the Disney Channel or the Big Bang Theory, or I don't know, maybe you're into RuPaul's Drag Race and you're a straight man who doesn't feel like you should be into RuPaul's Drag Race. My girlfriend loves RuPaul's Drag Race, and of course, I can't love that show, but whenever she sits down to watch it, she won't watch marathons of it with me, though she watches marathons of it all the time. But if she's happens to be watching the show and I walk in the room, I'll watch a couple episodes of it with her because while I'm doing something else, because I find it very hilariously entertaining. And I don't know what else to tell you if you haven't seen it. It's a bunch of guys who dress up in drag. Women, whatever they want to call themselves. That's what they are. They dress up in drag, and RuPaul is one of the most notoriously well-known drag queens in the world, and she holds this contest, and you become the next RuPaul supermodel or whatever, and these people get all catty, and it's hilarious. And most of these dudes / women, whatever, like I said, whatever they want to go by, they look way better than any hot chick I've ever been with in my life, because they just, they take care of themselves to that crazy of an extent, and I think it's off the wall. But if you haven't seen it, that's what that show's about. So yeah, judge me if you want. We all know that I really don't have a care in the world about what people truly think about my feelings. Something like that. Anyways, guys, I think we made some progress with this. I might need to actually terraform that whole area in here. No, that actually looks okay. I will terraform these 2 blocks. I do have some big holes down here I need to fill. But hey, I'm working from the top down. It's looking a little bit better. I somehow need to give myself like a hidden cave entrance to get back up to into my base. That would be nice. So I don't have to keep wasting all my hunger bars. But this does look better than it did before, I think you'll have to admit. And that being said, yeah, if I can bring the terraformation down like to this way, then this thing will actually be coming together as a nice looking ski hill. Okay, because this is all pretty well done up over there so far. Yeah, I'm liking this so far. Let's go. I haven't gotten one of these pictures in a while. Let's get a pic of what this looks like from Beef's roof is usually where I was going with it, I think. Oh, it's a pressure plate. I was like, what is going on? Beef, come back. We missed you. Don't worry, I'll just steal his house. Except for Beef still comes on the server. Oh, he just doesn't come to... Can't do anything up on his house. How did I get up here? Did I just shimmy up the outside? I think that's what I did. There we go. Yeah, I think it's coming along nicely, and I think the igloo on the top of it looks pretty cool. I need to put something on the front of the patrol building, or a big sign sticking up above the patrol building, like a big red, like cross, because it wouldn't be a red cross, it'd be a red background with a white cross on it, but I don't want it to take up. I can just do an outline. I might be able to do that and make it stick up and look pretty good. Oh no. Either way, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.